All right, you got Booker and Stryker, and that would be Billie Eilish.
Yes, Billie
Hello.
Eilish.
Hi, guys.
Okay, Booker and I share the same brain. We've listened to the album twice in full next to each other.
My
I would
God.
punch him in the arm as every song was going because we were so excited. So why did you decide to release all 10 songs at once and not like tease everyone with a song here and there?
Sure. I just like hate when it's taken out of context, and I feel like every time I've put a single out, it doesn't do what I want it to do. Like it just without the family like surrounding it, it just feels wrong and weird. And I feel like as a listener, I feel the same. I like fall victim to that as a fan. Like people put out a single, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay. And then they put the album out, and I'm like, okay, this makes much more sense. Like I get it now.
Right.
And I think that I don't know. I really like when I get to listen to an album and all of the music is new. I don't want to like press play and then like the third song is something I've heard and then the sixth song is something I've heard. It's like feels like a new album, but really it's like 5 new songs, you know. So it's just like it's like one whole piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you start with the first song, Skinny, it completely sets up the album perfectly. So it
Thanks.
begs the question, did you write that first and did everything kind of go in order after that, or did it need that?
Good question. Well, we had like pieces of stuff, but no, funnily enough, that's like the first song that I think that we wrote in full. Like we had ideas of stuff, and we had like a verse of Chihiro and the chorus of Lunch and like a verse of Bittersweet, but nothing was real, and it didn't feel like we didn't even know what we were gonna use. And then we wrote all of Skinny, and that was like the first full song that we wrote. So it was like as soon as we wrote it, we were like, oh, this is the opening track, and then
If it's okay, I want to geek out musically about the album and ask a couple back
Please.
questions.
please, I love this.
Where did you and Phineas record this album? Uh-oh.
We recorded the album in Phineas's studio, which is in his basement at his house, and it was basically me and him both sitting up at the desk, and I don't use a booth ever. And actually, we wrote basically the entire album with handheld mics like this, like a handheld mic, basically like this, sitting in the room in the back of the, on the couch, just like kind of doing this. And that's how we wrote like everything, which was amazing. And actually Chihiro was recorded on that, which is really cool because the way that we record that is just like in the room with like the live audio. So the speakers are feeding back what you're hearing. So you can kind of hear it in the background. So like when I play the isolated vocals of Chihiro, you can hear the whole beat because I was just singing it in the room. But yeah, so we did that. And then also Phineas, I do all my own vocals, and I have for years. But on this album, I was doing like some production stuff and all the engineering for myself. And Phineas is just like so good at that stuff, and he taught me so well. And so he would be like, all right, I'm gonna go do stuff, and you can do your little thing. And so I would be in there alone, just like recording and then editing and recording and doing it all in the same place. I'd record as I was editing. Anyway,
Were you nervous then when he would step out and be like, Phineas, while you were gone, this is what I was doing.
You
What do
missed some
think?"
gold here.
Yeah.
yeah, not really. I mean, there was some times, but recording is so tedious, and if you're not the one recording, it's like the worst thing in the world. Having to sit in a room while somebody, especially like somebody like me, records is like hell because I do like 100 something takes.
Wow.
Yeah, for each verse. So it's not fun to like be. It's not very fun to do, and it's definitely not fun to like watch.
Used to keep yourself notes. You'd hear some noises or whatever, whether it be like a crosswalk and bad guy, whatever it would be. Do you still do things like that? Do you bring things like that to the table? Like, look, brother, put this on the album. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we do that all the time. There's a couple little moments that are that in the album. It's funny, like, ever since we started telling people that we do that, all anybody does is ask us about it, which is funny because it comes so naturally. I've ever thought about it. Like we've been doing that since we first started. We've been doing the like voice memo, this is a recording that I took when I was walking through Central Park on this one day, and then we take it and put it. And also it adds like character. I think when when it's personal and it has something to do with your life, and it's like, let alone that, but like a memory, it's really special. And there's a couple of those on the album. The beginning of Wildflower is quiet in the background, but an audio recording that I have of something special. So
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Hit Me Hard and Soft. It's Billie Eilish with Booker and Stryker. I got the chills and goosebumps and punched him in the arm with all
He
the
punches me a
different.
lot.
I
by the
do.
way.
I get
It's
very
it's so
excited.
annoying.
I get it.
The strings that you two incorporated into some of the songs sounded
Yeah.
so beautiful. Was Phineas playing that live? How did that happen in the songs?
Yeah, well, thanks. Well, we've been wanting to use like strings for years, and we've done it occasionally, but never really like fully. And I think early on, Phineas and I had talked about being like, this is the album we're gonna do that on. Like we're gonna do that, and you know, I think Phineas owes a lot to learning to score in the last couple of years. Phineas has been working on score and becoming really good at that and understanding orchestral pieces and knowing how to, you know, create them. And he's talked a lot about how, like, if he hadn't learned that in the last couple of years, like, there's no way we would have had these beautiful, beautiful strings on the album. And so to make them, he just, you know, we would have like his little synth with the sounds of the strings, and he would just play it and write it that way. And so he was composing it, and then we took it to like a real composer to then kind of transcribe it or whatever you say.
Amazing. Yes.
And then we took it to a real like 6-piece orchestra, and then
So see, I
they
told you.
recorded
So
it.
none of the original noises that you made with the synth, did any of them end up staying on the record?
No.
Or they're all on the floor?
I'm pretty sure they're all gone. We might have like had a couple layers, but I don't even think so. We went to, I was in New York for SNL in December, and we spent the entire week in the studio with these amazing musicians. And it was the first time we've used anyone but me and Phineas on the album, like for like music. Like we used my drummer also played live drums, so it's all live drums and it's all live strings, and yeah.
And it makes it feel different,
It
right?
really does. It
Yeah.
just like it makes it so full. You know what I
alive.
mean? It's alive. It's
Yeah.
like really feels like music, you know?
Back in the day, you used to just run out to the Dodge when you were done and take a listen. Is that still part of the plan to know that you have something that, whoa, this does sound different?
Yeah. I mean, listening in the car is like the thing you got to do. For me, that's like my favorite place to be. It's not the Dodge anymore, sadly, but it's different cars. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of making music is driving to and from the studio and listening and being like, or like taking a couple days off and then listening again and hearing it in a different way, or playing it for a friend and then you hear it, feels like you heard it from the first time. And I love doing that. And that's when you like, you know, the thing is like, I love my music. I love the music that I make. I really do. And I think that that's so important. And I think that when people make stuff that they don't like, I feel bad for that. I feel like you should not be making something that you wouldn't enjoy, you know?
Right.
And, you know, I remember somebody saying like, oh, you listen to your own music? And I was like, yeah, that's why I make it. I love it. I love it, you know?
Yeah.
You talked about Phineas scoring movies, and you're an Oscar winner, and the Barbie movie. What was I made for? The whole album to me feels cinematic. And when I got to the
Thanks.
last track, You're Welcome, Blue, it felt like a movie needs to be made, a short film needs to be made. Has that crossed your mind, and potentially could that even happen?
For the album. Oh my
Yes.
God. I don't know. I will have to see. I don't know. I haven't thought of it, but I think that was kind of like part of our hope for the album, was that it would feel
Yeah.
like a piece, you know,
nice,
like it
yeah.
would, you know, all the songs are kind of, they have their own lives, and they should have their own lives individually. But I always tell people to, like, for the first time you listen to it, just front to back, don't pause it, don't talk between, because it's like an album. It's meant to be experienced and like have the whole thing to digest at one point.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like a movie or like a short film or something. I don't know. That's maybe pretentious, but
Not at all.
No.
thanks.
No, I'm the one that brought it up to you.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to bring it up. Lunch is like the first time you hear it, you're like, damn. It's like song of the summer contender already. Did you know? When you guys were done, did you look at one another and be like, wow, we really did something totally different and outdid ourselves?
Dude, oh, thanks, dude. I mean, it kind of took a second because we wrote the chorus of that song in like, I don't know, October. And that's all we had. And I was like, this is pretty tight. I was just nervous about it. I was like, what the hell? Like, am I really, am I really going there? But I think once we had those lyrics and the melody, it was like, oh, this could be. I remember playing it for somebody, just like a voice memo, and they were like, whoa, is that what you're working on right now? And then I was like, yeah, but like, just hold on, I haven't finished it. And we didn't finish it until, I want to say, like, fall of this last year, so like a year later.
You had it for a while.
Yeah,
You
we had it for
tinkered.
a while. We
do you
did.
tinker a lot more now as you've matured or get like?
Yes.
Do you? Oh, you do.
Yes.
Is it difficult? Does it mess with your brain instead of just letting?
Dude, it's like, it's been really nice. We almost used to never tinker at all. We would kind of make a song and finish it, and then make another song and then finish it. And then you'd look back and you'd be like, oh, I wish I'd like let that sit for a second, Jesus, because then I would have maybe made a different decision that I would have liked better in the long run. And so with this album, what was really cool and was really different was we made everything, like, we would work on something, and then as soon as it would start to get a little not as like fiery, the creativity, we would put it away and start something new, and then put it away and start something new. And that's like very new for us. We usually just keep going and going and then hate our lives and then finish it and we do another, But for this one, it was like we just work on this and then this and then this, which then meant that everything like was made almost at the same time because we were working on different things all the time. So nothing ever was like, oh, we finished that so long ago and this feels so new. Like everything aged at the same time. It was really amazing. Like they grew up together and they like changed together, which was super cool.
Booker and Stryker with Billie Eilish.
Wait, my phone keeps buzzing
Oh.
here. Someone has a question here. Off the phone?
What?
Oh, God.
This isn't planned at all.
I hear that you're talking to Stryker today. I was wondering what your hair plans are. I was wondering what your hair plans are for the future. I was wondering.
I was wondering.
That's Phineas.
Yeah, thank
DM
you.
on Instagram.
I can hear. I can
asking
tell.
a question there.
Thanks for telling my brother to ask me something.
I didn't tell him to ask that
That's
question.
awesome.
I was trying to get into
Should I steer this ship back into
Yes,
some
please. Yeah.
familiar
I
waters?
love it.
Okay.
They wow, it's amazing. You got Phineas to respond.
Yes.
You got Phineas to send you something. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
I don't. I.
Get ready.
That was very sweet. That was very sweet, and that's very sweet.
Okay, good.
My hair plans are none of your fucking.
You don't have to.
business.
There you go. There you go.
You've announced 3 shows for us anyhow. You've got them at the Forum coming up.
Yes.
My life of seeing Billie shows would be, first at the I think at the El Rey Theater, and it was like watching this pogo ball run around. And then I saw you had the busted wheel at the Greek. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember.
But you jumped around.
I
on
know,
one foot.
my little dumbass.
And well, then I thought, when I went to see you at the Forum, I go, she won't do anything to challenge herself. Maybe the music's not as crazy. You build a stage with a grade
ramp.
on it like this. So this time around, you're not going to do anything like that, are you? Or
Well,
you
you know what? You'll have to see.
You challenge yourself.
I just might. We'll see.
Was the grade on that stage after show 2 the biggest mistake you ever made? Because I remember watching you that night, like, oh, she has to hate this.
That's so interesting. I honestly loved it.
You did.
It's so funny because it must look really
It
like
does.
punishing, but it's really not. Honestly, it's like, it's fun. It's like, I don't know. I liked it. I don't know. I can't even explain it. I liked having somewhere to go and like, I think the thing that was sad was that I was so far away from Phineas and Andrew, and they were kind of stuck in these corners and like just stuck there forever. And then it's just like me only alone just on the whole stage. And that was a lot. That was really.
You never got gassed?
I never got gassed.
Tired.
That's not how we use gas.
Well, that's what it means.
It's not what it means
Hit
anymore.
Me Hard and Soft is the album.
He's like, we're getting away from this one.
Hit Me Hard and Soft is the album. 10 songs, cinematic. Start with track 1, then you get to the end. You're going to get the chills. You're going to be sad. You're going to be happy and feel so many things. We appreciate the hard work you put into your songs and live shows, you and your brother. You
Thanks.
deserve all the success, and thanks for
Yeah.
hanging out with Booker and Stryker.
You
today,
Yeah,
Billie
guys.
Eilish.
Thanks
you
for
made an
having
epic
me.
record. Congratulations.
Thank you.